Luc Besson's been itching to make this film for 20 years. With that colossal amount of time, you'd expect the script to be a bit more streamlined, no? Look, there is no denying the prominence of French filmmaker Luc Besson. However, Besson's inconsistency is an attribute of his that also can't be denied. La Femme Nikita, Léon the Professional, and The Fifth Element are fine examples of his talent, but subsequent entries into his repertoire have proven to be I was optimistic that Valerian would be Luc Besson's comeback film on account of the fact that he grew up reading the French comics. And after he waited nearly 20 years for visual technology to become more advanced, his passion project is now released to silver screens around the world to some disappointing box office results. So what did I think of it? Well, I'm not gonna lie, this film did manage to entertain me and hold my attention through the entirety of its runtime, but there are a lot of flaws. Centuries into the future, the former International Space Station has morphed into Alpha, and Alpha is a gigantic, bustling metropolis where millions of alien creatures from across the universe coexist peacefully and share their knowledge, technology, and cultures with each other. Major Valerian, played by Dane DeHaan, and Sergeant Laureline, played by Cara Delevingne, are sent by the Human Federation government on a mission to a distant planet to rescue a rare creature with remarkable powers from a black market trade. Upon their return to Alpha with this creature, the duo are assigned to protect the commander, played by Clive Owen, as he informs them of a suspected threat to Alpha. Then we've got this peaceful alien race from a paradise planet called Mool who look eerily similar to the Na'vi in Avatar. Their backstory forms the film's prologue and later becomes essential to Valerian and Laureline's mission. To Luc Besson's credit, the world building is absolutely spectacular, and his passion for the comics in that respect iridescently radiates in practically every goddamn frame. In my humble opinion, there's something inexplicably majestic about far future settings and intelligent beings that are not of this earth. Like a curious young teenager high on weed, I constantly think about the possibility of alien civilizations along with the similarity and differences in our culture and technology. In a way, the city of Alpha, with its enormous amalgam of widely assorted races, technology, and cultures across the universe, brings my childlike fantasies to life and then some. And like something out of a positive magic mushroom trip, these sweet, kaleidoscopic, radiant, candy neon colors come at you in spades and never let up. Simultaneously relaxing and energizing, it's like being in a gigantic dark void that feels dimly yet brightly lit at the same time. It's practically all the joy and saccharinity of multiple flavored shaved ice slushies with none of the sugar crashes. The action set pieces are brilliantly choreographed, they are exhilarating to watch, and I dare say that Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets rivals Guardians of the Galaxy, Pacific Rim, and even Avatar in the visual department. It truly is a feast for the eyes, and I would be shocked if this film didn't get some sort of major accolade for the Herculean effort it took to make this film so aesthetically pleasing. But as much as I enjoyed this film's breakneck pace and phenomenal visuals, I was disappointed that the story is pretty unfocused. I don't know if this is just me, but I felt that the narrative was hijacked by Luc Besson's unmitigated urge to showboat. Much of the film involved chase sequences and one partner rescuing the other from trouble and vice versa. Sure, that made for some quirky visual splendor and a further accentuation of this psychedelic universe's sheer scope, but it didn't really do anything else. In fact, the film deviates from its main narrative course on multiple occasions to the point where we kind of forget what the actual purpose of the story is, with, in my opinion, the most notable example being the shoehorning of a burlesque dancer played by Rihanna into the plot. The story does somewhat get back on track in the third act, and the pieces do consolidate, but they just felt rushed and labored. So it ended up being undercooked, and the manner in which this film presented its points about the importance of pluralism and the menace of bigotry were rather heavy-handed. Additionally, I didn't think there was a whole lot of chemistry between the two leads, Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne. Constantly bickering as if they were some siblings, the only affirmation of their romantic entanglement consists of some pretty less than stellar lines. And those merely consist of Valerian professing his desire to marry Laureline, and Laureline rejecting his advances and expressing her distrust in him given his history as a womanizing bachelor. Dane DeHaan plays Valerian with some supercilious nonchalance. I just don't think this approach was the right way to go, because instead of generating some charm to Valerian's cheeky character, he just comes off as wooden, stiff, and rather lacking in passion. Cara Delevingne does play Laureline with some intrepid charm, but her performance wasn't really anything to write home about either. There is some notable stiffness in her on-screen presence that she needs to work on and just do away with. So all in all, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is an okay film. It certainly is ambitious and the visuals are out of this world, both literally and figuratively, but the script desperately needed some fine-tuning. The main issue here is that Luc Besson seems more passionate about the universe of the comics rather than the characters and the lore. With some trims, edits, and perhaps a more charismatic leading duo, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets could have been quite the showstopper. I wouldn't mind not seeing this film again, but I was entertained and I went through the whole thing without looking at my watch more than once. So I'm gonna give Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets a 6. So these are my thoughts on Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. What did you think of the film? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like what I do, give me a like, hit that big subscribe button, stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one.